clock has crossed midnight. The fireworks are gone. The messages have slowed. The promises have already started to fade. And now, there is silence. Not the peaceful kind, the honest kind. The kind that asks you a question you cannot escape. Do you actually feel different? Most people don't. They change the calendar but keep the same mind. They write new goals with old habits. They dream new futures with the same fears. They say, this year will be different. But somewhere deep inside, they already know the truth. They have said this sentence before many times, and nothing truly changed, not because they are weak, not because they are broken, but because they are not honest with themselves. The warriors of old had a word for this. They called it kyojutsu, self-deception. It is the state where your words say, I want to change, but your actions whisper, I am comfortable here. You tell yourself you want a better life, but you protect the habits that destroy it. You say you want discipline, but you negotiate with laziness every morning. You say you want greatness, but you choose comfort every night. Kyojutsu is not lying to others. It is lying to yourself while pretending you believe it. Most people don't fail because life is unfair. They fail because they become friends with their excuses. They decorate their fear with beautiful reasons. They turn weakness into a lifestyle. They call it who I am instead of what I tolerate. And over time, suffering becomes familiar, and familiar pain feels safer than unknown growth. So they stay in jobs they hate. They stay in bodies they neglect. They stay in dreams they never touch. They stay because staying hurts less than changing. But the first law of the warrior was simple. You cannot fight what you refuse to see. So before the samurai lifted a sword, they lifted the truth. They looked at themselves without mercy, without stories, without excuses. They asked, what am I really doing with my life? Not what they hoped, not what they planned, but what their actions proved. And this is where your new year truly begins. Not with goals, not with motivation, but with brutal honesty. Here's a simple test. Look at your days, not your dreams. Your days. What you repeat is who you are becoming. What you avoid is what controls you. What you protect is what you worship. If your life does not match your words, then your words are not truth, they are decoration. Kyojutsu ends the moment you stop decorating your weakness. The moment you say, this is who I am right now, not who I wish to be, not who I pretend to be, but who my choices have made me. This moment hurts because it kills your excuses, and excuses are comfortable. They are soft. They protect your ego from reality. But warriors did not protect their ego. They protected their future, and the future only belongs to those who are brave enough to face the present. So stand still for a moment. No phone, no noise, no distraction. Ask yourself, where am I lying to myself? About my habits, about my discipline, about my courage, about my time. Do not answer quickly. Truth speaks slowly, and it only speaks to those who are willing to listen without running. This is not to shame you. This is to free you. Because the moment Kyojutsu breaks, real change becomes possible. Not easy, but possible. And now that you have seen the truth, you are ready for the second law of the warrior. The law that makes excuses weak. The law that makes time sacred. The law that turns ordinary days into powerful ones. The samurai called it shaman. Living with death beside you, not as fear, but as fire. And that is where our journey continues. Most people live like time is a gift that never runs out. They talk like they have decades stored in a vault somewhere. They delay courage. They postpone truth. They save their best life for someday. But someday is a story. It is not a place. It is not a promise. It is a lullaby we sing to our fear. The warriors of old did not sing that song. They lived with a shadow beside them, not a dark one, an honest one. They called it shaman. The awareness that death walks with you, not to scare you, but to wake you. When a samurai woke in the morning, he did not assume he would see the night. He trained like today could be his last. He spoke like his words mattered. He walked like every step was borrowed. Because when you know time is fragile, you stop wasting it. Think about your own life. How many days have you thrown away? Because you thought you had plenty more. How many chances did you delay? Because you believed there would be another moment. How many truths did you silence? Because you thought you could speak them later. Later is the graveyard of courage. Shaman teaches something simple. If this were your final year, you would not live the way you are living now. You would not stay silent when your heart is screaming. You would not waste hours on things that make you empty. You would not keep people close who poison your spirit. You would not abandon your own potential for comfort. Death makes liars of excuses. When you carry death in your awareness, small problems lose their power, petty fears lose their voice, ego becomes lighter, truth becomes louder. The samurai did not think about death to become sad. They thought about death to become free, free from hesitation, free from cowardice, free from pretending they had endless time. They understood something most people never learn. You don't value life because it is long. You value life because it is fragile. Here is a simple practice of Shiman. Each morning before you touch your phone, before you speak to anyone, say this in your mind. Today is borrowed, not to make you afraid, to make you awake. Then ask, if this were my last chapter, what would I stop doing? What would I start doing? What truth would I finally speak? What dream would I stop delaying? And then, do one of those things. Not all of them, just one. This is how death teaches you to live. This is how warriors turned ordinary days into meaningful ones. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They moved while fear was still breathing. They acted while doubt was still whispering. They spoke while their voice was still shaking. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to let fear decide. When you live with Shiman, you stop asking, what if I fail? And you start asking, what if I never try? And that question is heavier than any fear. So let death sit beside you, not as an enemy, as a teacher. Let it remind you, your time is not owned, it is loaned. And one day, without warning, the loan will be collected. What will your life say when that day comes? Will it say, I waited, I hesitated, I was comfortable? Or will it say, I tried, I dared, I lived awake? Shiman does not make you dark, it makes you honest. And honesty is the beginning of power. There is one more thing you must learn. Because even with awareness of death, most people still fail, not because they don't know what matters, but because their mind is never where their life is. The body moves forward, the mind runs away. And this is why the third law of the warrior was born. They called it Nenshin, the attentive mind. Most people are never where they are. Their body sits in one place. Their mind lives somewhere else. They eat while thinking about work. They work while dreaming about rest. They rest while scrolling through other lives. They speak while preparing their next sentence. They live while barely noticing it. This is not living, this is drifting. The warriors of old called the cure Nenshin, the attentive mind. It is the mind that stays where the body is, not trapped in yesterday, not lost in tomorrow, but awake in now. Because power only exists in the present. You cannot change yesterday, you cannot act in tomorrow, you can only move in this moment. And yet, most people abandon it. They say they want to change, but their attention is always elsewhere. They go to the gym. While thinking about food, they sit with family. While staring at a screen, they chase dreams. While feeding distractions. So their life becomes shallow, not because they are weak, but because they are scattered. In battle, a wandering mind meant death. So the samurai trained their attention, like they trained their sword. They learned to see fully, to hear fully, to move fully, not halfway, not distracted, not divided. Nenshin means this: where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention lives in fear, your life will be small. If your attention lives in excuses, your life will stay stuck. If your attention lives in noise, your life will become shallow. But if your attention lives in this moment, your life becomes real. Here is a simple Nenshin practice. Choose one small thing today, just one. When you do it, do nothing else. If you walk, just walk. If you eat, just eat. If you train, just train. If you listen, just listen. No phone, no fantasy, no escape. You will feel uncomfortable at first because your mind is addicted to running. It is addicted to noise. It is addicted to everywhere except here. But if you stay, something strange happens. Your senses wake up. Your breath becomes louder. Your thoughts slow down. Your actions become cleaner. And slowly, you stop living in pieces. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they live divided, half in fear, half in distraction, half in dreaming, half in escaping. But the warrior lived whole, one body, one mind, one moment. This is why the samurai were calm in chaos. Not because chaos disappeared, but because their attention did not run from it. They did not try to control everything. They controlled where their mind stood, and when your mind stands still, your life becomes steady. Nenshin is not meditation on a cushion. It is meditation while living. It is washing your hands like it matters. It is speaking like your words matter. It is working like your work matters. It is resting like your rest matters. Because whatever you touch with full attention becomes meaningful, but attention alone is not enough. You can be fully present and still feel weak. You can be fully aware and still need approval. You can be fully awake and still doubt your own path. So the warriors added another law, a law not of focus, but of dignity. They called it Kigurai, noble inner strength. Most people build their confidence from noise, from applause, from likes, from praise, from being noticed. When the noise stops, their confidence collapses. They rise when they are celebrated. They fall when they are ignored. They move when they are encouraged. They stop when they are doubted. This is not strength. This is dependence. The warriors of old called true strength Kigurai, noble inner dignity, not pride, not arrogance, not ego, but a quiet certainty that does not ask permission to exist. A person with Kigurai walks differently, not loudly, not proudly, but steadily. They do not chase approval. They do not fear criticism. They do not change their direction. Every time someone speaks, because their worth does not live in other people's mouths, it lives in their own commitment. Most people collapse under two things: praise and blame. Praise makes them soft. Blame makes them small. They rise too high when admired. They fall too low when judged. So they live like leaves in the wind. Wherever opinions blow, they follow. Kigurai makes you heavy, not slow. Grounded. When you are grounded, storms do not move you. They only pass around you. Here's a simple Kigurai practice. Do something important today that no one will praise. Wake early and train in silence. Work when no one is watching. Fix what is broken without being seen. Keep a promise no one remembers but you. And when no one notices, do not complain. Smile, because you are no longer working for noise. You are working for your own standard. A warrior did not ask, "Will they see me?" He asked, "Will I respect myself?" This is why the samurai could walk alone. They did not need a crowd to believe in their path. They had chosen it, and choice is stronger than opinion. But dignity without direction becomes stubbornness. You can be strong and still be scattered. You can be confident and still chase 10 roads at once. So the warriors added one final law, not of honesty, not of death, not of focus, not of dignity, but of total devotion. They called it Isshin, one heart. Most people want many lives. They want success without sacrifice. They want growth without pain. They want meaning without commitment. So they divide themselves. A little effort here, a little discipline there, a little dreaming everywhere. And in the end, they build nothing deeply. The warriors of old called true power Isshin, one heart. It means choosing one path and giving it your whole being, not half effort, not backup plans for your excuses, not secret exits for when it gets hard. One heart means, when you choose, you close the back door. Most people fail because they always leave a way to escape. They say, "I'll try." But try means, "I will quit if it hurts." They say, "I'll change." But change means, as long as it feels good. Isshin means, there is no exit, only forward. Not because the path is easy, but because you have decided matters. When you give your whole heart, failure loses its power. Not because you never fall, but because you never leave. You fall forward, you rise forward, you suffer forward, you grow forward. This is why warriors did not fear mistakes. They feared only one thing, abandoning their path. Here is your final practice. Choose one thing, not 10, not 5. One goal that matters. One habit that changes you. One direction that scares you. Write it, say it, commit to it. Then remove your escape routes. Delete the distractions that steal your time. Change the environment that feeds your weakness. Tell yourself the truth when it gets hard. Not, "I'll stop tomorrow," but, "I move forward today." Now gather all the laws you have learned. Kyojutsu. Stop lying to yourself. Shaman. Remember your time is borrowed. Nenshin. Live where your life is. Kigurai. Stand without needing approval. Isshin. Give your whole heart. These are not ideas. They're a way of walking, a way that turns ordinary people into warriors of their own lives. So do not promise what you will not protect. Do not dream what you will not work for. Do not say someday when today is breathing, 1 year from now. You will stand somewhere, not where you hoped, but where your choices carried you. You will either recognize yourself or wonder where you went. I believe this. You are stronger than your excuses. You are deeper than your fear. You are capable of more than your comfort. But only if you walk. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now.